In case you didn't hear, there's nothing to worry about at the border. How do we know? Harry Reid says so. How does he know? Here's Harry.
The border is secure. Martin Heinrich talked to the caucus today. He's a border state senator. He said he can say without any equivocation, the border is secure.
A different lawmaker, a Democrat at the border, argues otherwise.
The people I represent in southern Arizona, and I have 83 miles of the border with Mexico, don't feel secure, don't feel safe in their homes. The border isn't secure from my perspective.
What does the White House think? Ed Henry tried to get an answer from Josh Earnest earlier today.
Senator Reid said, he put the majority leader's office right behind him. He said, the border is secure. Do you agree with him?
The administration, under the president's leadership, has dedicated significant resources to securing the border.
So you're saying it is secure?
The position of this administration is that we have made an important investment in securing the border.
Not security.
The president is certainly supportive of additional security being added to the border.
Okay, and then Senator Heinrich, who Senator Reid was quoting, this came out on the Senate floor just a little while ago and confirmed, Eric, he said that the border is secure. What's interesting to me is that just 2 weeks ago, the White House was saying that we had a humanitarian crisis on the border. I'm not sure how they think that Americans are supposed to understand that. I guess they think both things can be true.
I think Harry Reid is completely, I don't know what he's smoking. The border is secure. I mean, I don't think anyone in either party thinks the border is secure by any means.
There was the Senator Heinrich who just came out and confirmed what Harry Reid said.
Well, then maybe they're smoking the same thing.
It
very well possible. The border is not secure, and as soon as they secure the border, then we can probably have some sort of comprehensive immigration reform, because then the Republicans would get on board. Can I just talk about how broken the immigration system is? Sure. Now, NBC highlighted this teacher from Presidio, Texas. She's an aerospace teacher to high school kids. She came over from the Philippines on a work visa. Her visa was expiring. She couldn't convince immigration to let her stay. She was awarded numerous awards for being one of the best teachers in the state of Texas, and they gave her a deportation notice. They gave her a deportation notice. It took a Texas congressman to get her a green card so she could stay. Meanwhile, that's one example of a an amazing teacher doing great things with kids. Meanwhile, we have 57,000 illegal kids coming over. We have 1 million illegal adults coming across the border, storming the border, and we don't send them back. They're the ones that don't get the deportation notices, but these do. This needs to be the reform. We need more legal immigrants coming over.
That's interesting, because that's a question I wanted to ask Bob, because, Bob, both parties, Republicans and Democrats, have used comprehensive immigration reform as a way to hold off legislation in order to get what they want. On the right, more border security, and on the left, for lack of a better word, amnesty and citizenship, path to citizenship for the illegals that are here already. Do you think now, though, that everybody agrees the bill is not going to pass this year? Is it time for both parties to say, okay, at least we could maybe do something piecemeal and solve the H-1B visa problem or the entrepreneurial visa problem, and just at least get that done this year?
I think there's a possibility of that. I still think there's a possibility in the lame duck session you can get a more comprehensive bill. But, you know, the fact of the matter is, in San Diego, in California, the border is secure. In certain parts of Arizona, it is secure. In Texas, a lot of it is not secure because it's a very big, long piece of land to try to secure. But there are secure parts of the border, and they're right about that. And by the way, the people, this Filipino woman who was being sent back, that happens many times, too many times every year. But the fact is, they are immigrants, and that is what this country is built with. And among those 1 million people who came across the border, I would bet you there are thousands of them who make great contributions to this country.
True. Let me ask you, Kimberly.
And vote Democrat.
Wanted to ask you about the...
I'm just telling you, I think this is kind of politically, convenient in many respects. Sorry to take a cynical viewpoint.
If you took the Democratic bill, the first time of somebody who got amnesty, as you call it, could vote, would be...
Those aren't my words. I don't know who you're confusing with.
But the Republicans think it's amnesty. It would take 18 years before they could vote. 18 years.
You know what, Bob? Future building.
Let me ask you, Kimberly, about this. One of the Border Patrol agents said that he thinks the main problem goes back to something we've been talking about for decades, and that's the drug trade and drug cartels. From your experience, do you think that that's true?
Oh, I think it's a very relevant, important point. I think he's right on. And when you talk to people that are there at the border, that are seeing what's going on a daily basis, and having, you know, worked in Los Angeles, especially with the influx of gang cases that largely traffic in narcotics, you see it in real time, what's happening and where they come from, and they come here to, you know, to make money. Now, listen, there's plenty of people that come over that want to contribute and be part of a decent job and a great way of life. And God bless them. But there is a right way to do things, and there is an illegal way to do it. You have to respect the borders. You have to respect the laws. What about all the immigrants that came before? Because when you have this kind of porous border, and it's fine if it's secure in some sections, but you're only as strong as the weakest.
But Greg hasn't had a chance to talk yet, so if I could get him in. I wanted to ask you can talk about anything you want, but can I ask you about your perception of other media coverage of this issue and how that is maybe affecting the debate?
Well, the media plays its role by saying it's anything but a violation of our country's sovereignty. And it goes back to my central point that Harry Reid might be the dumbest person on the earth, but I don't want to rule out life on other planets. The borders are about as secure as Bill Clinton's pants. And that is the point. Security is the obstacle for the far left. Once you compromise the sovereignty of the U.S. is no longer us. We become them, and that's what they want.
Yeah, can I make just make one point here? There is the problem. This border problem is there is no border in Mexico. The areas that are controlled by the drugs, and they control everything, the elected officials, the police, that's where most of these people are coming across, because that's where most of the coyotes come across, the guys who are carrying drugs. You've got a big stretch of land there which is dominated and controlled by gangs, and murdering. 50,000 people have died there. So there is no border. The only border there, there's nothing on the Mexican side to slow it down. You know
what is so interesting about Mexico is people could still go there and have a great time at a resort. For some reason, there are no problems when they don't want the problems.
Well, you're absolutely right. Having gotten engaged in Mexico twice in Cabo San Lucas.
Five times.
No,
Five
twice.
times.
All right. Next, police in New Jersey are on high alert after getting threats from a violent street gang. The Bloods are reportedly vowing to avenge the death of a cop killer after cops killed him. Kimberly has the details coming up.